A lot of material. Lin Sheng spoke silently. Materials are easy to come by. You are the top freshman at the Magic City Academy, so you are naturally qualified to get the advanced materials for your pet. What materials can't we produce? Do you look down on us? Just ask it directly. Everyone looked calm and composed. I plan to show off in front of my juniors. Otherwise, if Lin Sheng grows to the emperor level in the future, they will no longer have any chance. Oh, and there's one more thing. I'm planning to buy some rare beast corpses recently, also for advanced materials. So Lin Sheng proposed 20 or 30 extremely rare and ferocious beasts. This is to cover up his purpose of collecting the corpses of the floating whale beast. Otherwise, if we just acquire the floating whale, it would be easy for people to guess it, because everyone present is smart and not so easy to fool. That's easy to say. Although the number is indeed scarce, it is not impossible to obtain it. Everyone frowned slightly. Why does this kid always create problems? But having made the promise, they couldn't take it back. Otherwise, your face will be dull. Oh, thank you very much. The materials I need for advancement this time are mainly Millennium Eye Stone and 7 Aperture Ginseng. Lin Sheng read out the names of materials one by one. And everyone's expressions gradually changed. From the beginning, he looked calm. Gradually it turned into a slight frown. Then he slowly opened his mouth and looked at the boy in front of him with shock. Are you serious, kid? The requirements for a disaster level advanced material are actually higher than those for an emperor level advanced material. Back then, they were looking for the materials to upgrade their pets to the imperial level, and it took them at least several decades. This is going to cost them their lives. I do have the Millennium Eye Stone, and I can buy the other materials, but I really don't have the 7 Aperture Ginseng. The principal of the Magic City Academy suddenly felt a little regretful that he had set such a condition and threshold. I can help you buy the corpses of the beasts, but you have to go to the Giant Tree Secret Realm to get the 7 whole ginseng. The largest secret realm on Blue Planet, the Giant Tree Secret Realm. The secret realm gathers the strongest people from all over the world, even ferocious beasts. Even a catastrophic level beast master could die if he entered it. The Tree King of the Giant Tree Secret Realm has 7. Everyone spoke silently. Obviously a lot has not been said. This world is far from what ordinary people see, and it obviously hides many secrets. For example, in the secret realm of the Giant Tree, even if an emperor level being enters it, there will not be a ripple in the space. That means the owner of that space is at the imperial level, or even above that. I see. Lin Sheng nodded silently. It seems that everyone is still hiding some truths about the world. In the past, Lin Sheng lived in lies woven by others. It was not until Lin Sheng's strength reached a certain threshold that the truth of the world began to slowly reveal itself to him. After making an agreement with everyone, Lin Sheng withdrew from the virtual meeting. Just at this time Lin Ming sent a message to Lin Sheng. When I was unconscious I felt like I had a dream. It was a dream that made me very angry. I don't know if it was real. Maybe you're overthinking it. There's always someone with you in the ward. Lin Sheng typed a line of words and sent it to Lin Ming. The message came back within seconds. Maybe. It would be best. Putting the phone in his pocket, Lin Sheng felt a little nervous. Could it be that Lin Ming had already woken up at that time? Then wouldn't I be? Lin Sheng quickly shook his head. Don't think about it for now. There should be a teleportation array to that secret realm downstairs of the Magic City Academy. But before that, Lin Sheng had more important things to do. After Lin Sheng left the meeting room. Is all the information you found true? One person asked the other. It's true. More than a decade ago, Yang Chen was attacked by ferocious beasts. Lin Sheng's parents saved a child on the front line, but they died in that war. And the child we rescued is very talented and learns everything very quickly. The only problem is that she seemed to appear out of thin air. Everyone was silent. That child was naturally Lin Ming. She and Lin Sheng are not biological siblings, but she kept this a secret. She has always taken care of Lin Sheng as a sister, and her care can be said to be meticulous. That possessiveness. But it was like some kind of ferocious beast was dominating something it owned. Go to Yang Chen and check if there is any special secret space there. Your sister has a really good physique. I thought it would take at least 1 to 2 months to fully recover, but I never expected that she would wake up in one day and fully recover in less than a month. The little deer was marveling at the sight in the beast taming space. The human physique can actually adapt perfectly to the lantern grass. If the person he saw when he opened his eyes was not Lin Sheng, Xiaolu might have wanted to make a contract with Lin Ming more. Maybe if Lin Sheng doesn't come, the person who has made a contract with it is Lin Ming. Lin Shengli used the teleportation array where the magic city was located and quickly arrived in Yangcheng. Without telling anyone, he ran straight to Bai He's home on the road. Stop. As soon as Lin Sheng arrived, he was stopped by the guard. However, when the guard saw who was in front of him, he was shocked. Nowadays, Lin Sheng is already the president of the Yangcheng Beastmaster Association. If all the forces, big and small, in Yangcheng knew that Lin Sheng was coming, they would surely welcome him with great fanfare. Even if the Bai family's headquarters in Shanghai saw Lin Sheng coming, they would probably come to greet him. How could a security guard like him dare to stop them? At this time, Bai Mu and Bai He were welcoming guests who had come from the Magic City. Mother Bai was wearing a cashmere sweater, revealing her snow-white shoulders, and a short skirt wrapped around her hips, revealing a sense of maturity. Bai He was also wearing a white fleece sweater similar to her mother's. She had a soft and round face, and just sitting there made people want to bully her. Bai Jug was not at home at this time, he was summoned to the main home of the Bai family in Demon City. And in front of the mother and daughter was Bai Jing, a very powerful man in the Bai family of Magic City. In the past, coming to such a small city was like an emperor visiting the homes of some retainers, but now he seemed a little reserved. It's all because of Lin Sheng. Madam, Miss Bai, I heard that the young lady seems to have a good relationship with President Lin? Shirai asked tentatively. Their head family has a marriage relationship with the Bai family in Yangcheng, and the marriage partner is the Bai family's youngest daughter Bai He. But not long ago, it was heard that Bai He and Lin Sheng had a close relationship, so the Bai family hurriedly interrupted the marriage and sent him here to carefully inquire. If I could get in touch with Lin Sheng, maybe their Bai family can survive this disaster. You have to know that this time the higher UPS were angry, and the big families in the major base cities were in a state of panic like frightened birds. Even if there are several big families overnight, it is not surprising that time disappears from the base city. I don't know, they are just classmates. Bai's mother frowned slightly. Obviously, he doesn't know what happened between Bai He and Lin Sheng. When Bai He heard this, she felt disappointed and wanted to refute. Upon hearing that there was a chance, Shirai's eyes lit up and he quickly advised, "Oh, if you are classmates, then you should keep in touch more often. If it really doesn't work out and others look down on you, you can just be a commoner or even a concubine." In the eyes of the main family, the direct descendants scattered to various cities are just tools for marriage. Being able to help the master is already their greatest blessing. Now Lin Sheng is just the right age, has a large circle of connections in the Magic City and the Imperial City, and has good talent. It was even rumored that he was summoned by an emperor-level beastmaster not long ago. He is simply the most suitable candidate. In addition to their Bai family, many people have already sent invitations. This is very common in today's world. Just like Hu Kun from the Magic City Academy, or even Zhang Kuang when he first entered the school, he had marriage agreements with many families. Really? I'll try to contact you as much as possible. Bai's mother's face was calm. But I felt in my heart that there was no hope. Perhaps Bai He still had a chance before Lin Sheng rose to prominence. But now, she understands those men too well. There are so many people who are prettier than Bai He and have stronger family backgrounds, but instead he wants to marry a direct descendant of the Bai family. Wouldn't this be laughed at? Bai's mother has long remembered the truth that if a girl pursues a boy, it will take a lot of effort. I'm afraid Lin Sheng has already fallen for the sugar-coated bullets of those big families. He might even have married one or two. This is the case in their Yangcheng, not to mention that the Demon City base is such a big city. This kind of thing is not uncommon to Bai Mu. And suddenly, accompanied by a knock on the door, Lin Sheng stepped into the room. Seeing that there were already 3 people here, he was stunned for a moment. And Shirai was even more shocked. You, why are you here? Bai Jing never expected that Lin Sheng had already returned to Yangcheng. Oh, I'm here to propose. After much thought, Lin Sheng decided to be a responsible man. We cannot go against the moral concepts that we have established in our hearts over the years. However, this sentence hit the minds of everyone present like thunder. Bai's mother looked at Lin Sheng. His gaze became much softer. Such men are really rare, and she even feels a little jealous of her daughter. Dozens of minutes later, Lin Sheng left the Bai family villa. I was rejected. Lin Sheng was a little confused. Originally, he was planning to agree, but Bai's mother asked Lin Sheng to make more preparations and accumulate his energy. But Lin Sheng was indeed a bit reckless. Well, let's prepare it when I come back. Am I? Lin Sheng did not leave Yangcheng, but went directly to the Beastmaster Association in Yangcheng. The president of the Yangcheng Beastmaster Association and Diqian immediately came to the Beastmaster Association to welcome them upon receiving the news. Haha, Lin Sheng, you're finally back. Diqian smiled and said, but now I should call you President Lin. It's not appropriate to call you by your name anymore. Hearing Diqian's words, everyone around felt ashamed. You know that too? Now, apart from you, who else dares to call Lin Sheng by his name? No need, Diqian, just call me by my name. Lin Sheng returned what Diqian had said to him at that time. Diqian's face suddenly turned red. You kid, you've actually learned bad things. How dare you tease your sister? Diqian glared and changed the subject, but what are you doing back in Yangcheng this time? I have some things to do. Is there a teleportation array in Yangcheng that can lead to the giant tree world? Yes. But the teleportation array has been sealed for a long time. I will take you there. As he spoke, Diqian brought Lin Sheng to the giant tree teleportation array. Not many people know about the world in this teleportation array. They only know that it is one of the largest secret realms in the world. Without the corresponding token, you cannot enter. And Lin Sheng happened to get the token from President Rong. It was a green leaf, exuding the breath of life. As Lin Sheng stepped onto the teleportation array, the green leaves in my hand gradually dissipated. Lin Sheng disappeared in the teleportation array of Yangcheng. Then he appeared in a pure white room. On both sides of the exit of the room, there stood a pair of catgirls in maid outfits to greet Lin Sheng. Oh. Are you new here? You look like a stranger. Suddenly someone walked into the pure white room. He has a strong body and his whole body is covered with explosive muscles. Let me introduce myself. My name is Wu Lu, and I'm in charge of managing our dragon country's entry into the secret space. Lin Sheng. Speaking lightly, Lin Sheng looked at the two catgirls at the door with some curiosity. Ha ha ha, don't mind it. The beast masters in our dragon country have some weird tastes. This is their strong request. The sturdy man came in front of Lin Sheng, took out the instrument and scanned it at him. Oh. King level? That's rare. The strong man was a little surprised. Although this giant tree world also has kings and even ordinary people. But those who came here from the outside world, except for those who stowed away, were at least disaster-level beast masters. Come with me and I'll introduce you. Wu Lu took Lin Sheng out of the room. Soon they arrived at a place similar to the Beast Tamer Association. But the space occupied here is more than 10 times larger than that of the original Beast Master Association. Occasionally, a few beast masters passed by here, and they all looked at Lin Sheng curiously. Apparently, there weren't many beast masters who could enter the world of giant beasts, and almost everyone knew each other. The giant tree world covers an area no smaller than a country. And you are now in our dragon country's garrison. Once you leave this place, your life or death will be at the mercy of fate. Wu Lu smiled. No more? No, you will know it if you experience it yourself. Wu Lu knew the brutality of this place. Killing people in the street is child's play. Even if a family is broken up and people die, no one would even look at it twice. Oh. Lin Sheng didn't want to know more, he just came here to get something. Is there any 7-hole ginseng here? Of course. Wu Lu turned his neck, go to the arena, and the prize is 7-hole ginseng. Soon, Lin Sheng left the base. After learning that he was only at the king level, Wu Lu obviously didn't want to say too much. Along the way, Lin Sheng saw many children in tattered clothes. But after seeing the Dragon Kingdom seal on him, those people obviously did not dare to get too close. These should be the indigenous people here. That is, the ordinary people of the giant tree empire. Now that the empire has been occupied by several major base cities, how can life be any easier? Lin Sheng even saw many people trafficking in ferocious beasts and human beings along the way. Everything that was not allowed was not under the jurisdiction here. Soon, Lin Sheng arrived at a duel arena. Hello. Seeing that the visitor was from the main world, the service staff's attitude immediately became extremely respectful. After all, if he can come from the main world, he must be at least a disaster-level beast master. He is the local emperor of this world. The civilization is really backward. No wonder President Rong and the others don't want to talk more about this world. Lin Sheng frowned slightly. Now that you are here, you have to adapt to the environment. What match are you looking to book? I'm here to compete. Competition. The staff immediately changed their expressions. What level? Are there any requirements? The reward I requested is the 7-whole ginseng. 7-whole ginseng? Only the Tree King has 7-whole ginseng. There will be a duel between kings tomorrow, and the winner can see the Tree King. The waiter spoke silently. He is only responsible for informing. M.Loda. That's it? After agreeing, Lin Sheng was quickly arranged to a rest room. I had just rested in the room for a while when there was a knock on the door. Lin Sheng opened the door and saw 7 or 8 slaves standing outside. Some were black, some were white, some were human-animal hybrids, and even some were elves. Each of them has fair skin and their appearance is at least above 9 points. I don't know if this guest needs it, it only costs 100,000 per night. The man said with a smile. Before he could finish his words, Lin Sheng closed the door with a cold look on his face. I didn't expect that there are so many places in this world that I don't know about. Even elves? Of course, more than 70% of Blue Star's territory is still in secret and has not been completely unlocked. There are even some secret spaces that even I cannot enter. The little deer suddenly spoke. Really? You've actually been to the giant tree secret realm? Lin Sheng was a little surprised. I didn't expect the little deer knew so much. After releasing their 2 pets, Xiaoling and Xiaobai were also very curious. Of course, it's easy to get in here but hard to get out. The information is completely blocked and ordinary people have no way of knowing it. Lin Sheng nodded. He agreed with this point. If his strength had not reached this level, he probably wouldn't even know that there was such a place on Blue Star. It is even possible that even if one has the ability, there is no way to know without channels. Lin Sheng's attention was quickly attracted by a ranking list in the room. Wanling competition single player ranking. First, agility. Second, Zeus. Third. The more Lin Sheng looked, the more frightened he became. Zeus. Isn't this the strongest person in the lighthouse country? Even Director An is among them. There's even the 9-headed sun bird. Lin Sheng was stunned. Not only emperors and beast masters from various countries participated in the competition. Even those ferocious beasts have participated in the battle here. And there are more than 13,000 people on this competitive list. The weakest one is a king-level beast master. This means that many beast masters above the king level and intelligent ferocious beasts have come here to participate in the competition. The rewards are extremely generous. Some ranking rewards are even priced directly by person. The daughter of the 7th prince of the giant tree empire, an elf. This is truly amazing. Even the emperor-level beast masters got involved. You can imagine the huge interests involved here. No wonder the secret space is unattended. It's not that there is no one to supervise, but that it is impossible to supervise at all. How are you going to manage such a huge group of beast masters, where the weakest are all king level? Perhaps the law can restrain some ordinary people, but to the strong it is just a piece of paper and they simply don't abide by it. This is true even in reality, let alone in the secret space. Master, go meet the Tree King. The fawn seemed very excited. There is a faint impulse in my heart. But its level is still low now, and it doesn't know what this impulse is. But as long as it sees the King of Trees, it will definitely understand. Of course, Xiaobai, Xiaoling, you are all ready. Lin Sheng's current ranking is high. At the end of the ranking, and in tomorrow's battle, there will be strong players ranked in the top 5,000. Even though he is only a top king, he is already one of the best. Once you enter the arena, there are only 2 outcomes. Win, and die. Or you can choose not to die and become a slave to the opponent or the arena. But that is not much different from death, or even worse. If you are a defeated general, you can imagine how the other party will abuse you. I'll help you inject your skills first. Lin Sheng gently stroked Xiaobai's forehead. Feeling the long-lost head pat, Xiaobai shook his head and enjoyed it very much. Obtain the 9-headed sunbird flame head skill. Obtain the 9-headed sunbird space head skill. Obtain the poisonous head skill of the 9-headed sunbird. Obtain the genetic bloodline of the 9-headed fiery sunbird. Obtain the genetic bloodline of the Jiling Wolf King. Obtain the dragon blood pangolin gene bloodline. During the injection process, Lin Sheng could clearly feel that the space system's ability was stronger, while the others were weaker. But Lin Sheng didn't think much about it and just thought that the bird was exercising its crystal skull regularly. At this moment, a large amount of energy was injected into the body, and Xiaobai's level had almost reached its limit and was about to overflow. A huge force is flowing through the body, just eager to break through as soon as possible. The next morning, Lin Sheng woke up from his bed. The bed here is still not as comfortable as my big bed, which is several hundred square meters. After stretching, Lin Sheng got up and washed up. Xiaobai was also full of energy after waking up. I always feel full of energy and endless strength. In addition to the bloodlines he obtained, the most important thing is that Xiaobai obtained many catastrophic level skills. Of course, some inappropriate skills were not inherited successfully, but almost all of the skills of the 9-headed sunbird were inherited. That's enough. Compared to disaster level skills, emperor level skills are more important. Whoosh! As Xiaobai's pupils began to glow fluorescently, Lin Sheng's coat floated in the air and was put on very smoothly. This is part of the application of spatial ability, which can control objects through the air. It can even rely on spatial energy to allow Xiaobai's body to float in the air. But the heavier you are, the harder it is to achieve. At most, it can only guarantee to hover in the air for a period of time. Boom boom boom. There was a knock on the door. Lin Sheng opened the door and it was the arena service staff. Hello, guest. We have scheduled your match for the 3rd time. Seeing Lin Sheng had changed so much from the day before, the service staff couldn't help but take a few more glances at him. Mr. Lin, I came to you last night to sell you something, but you didn't buy anything, did you? The waiter hinted. Lin Sheng shook his head. That's good. The waiter didn't want to say more, as this was not within his business scope. Soon, Lin Sheng was brought to the arena. At this time, a ferocious beast was fighting with a human beast master. Ranked Megalodon. Ranking Wang Feng. Go ahead. Hit me. The crowd in the audience was very lively. In the spacious arena, the Beastmaster's second pet had half of its body crushed by the saber-toothed mammoth. Seeing this scene, Lin Sheng frowned slightly. I inexplicably put myself in the shoes of Xiaoling and Xiaobai. Haha, the death of Beastmasters is a common occurrence here. At worst, we can just make another contract. They are nothing more than tools for mutual use. A voice came from beside Lin Sheng. Turning around, a sturdy, half-naked blonde man was looking at Lin Sheng with interest. You're new here, right? I hope you and your little pets can make it out alive. The blonde man didn't say much to Lin Sheng. This newcomer also. It wasn't worth his further glance. They don't even have the qualifications to be provoked by him. Using a pet? That's something only a useless beast master would do. Lin Sheng had no expression on his face. When the blonde man heard this, the blood vessels on his forehead bulged and he squinted his eyes at the boy in front of him. Master Jack. Why are you in the mood to talk to a newcomer today? A butler-looking man wearing a suit and glasses came over with a smile and lowered his head. Nothing, just a kid who doesn't know what's good for him. The blonde man spoke fluent English. Lin Sheng, however, could completely understand it. The King Beastmaster's memory is different from that of ordinary people. It only takes him 6 hours to learn a language. Soon, the game was over. The winner is Wang Feng. Damn it! If I had known I would have bet on the higher rank side. Damn it, this Beastmaster is really lucky. But his 2 beasts may not live long. Let me pay for it, it's better to die. How about I just bet on the side with a higher chance of winning next time? What are you afraid of? Keep going in reverse. You need to learn more, Study the status of each player in each game, how much their strength has improved, what their status is like, and place bets based on the status of both sides and their current strength. Over time, you will jump off the building. Wang Feng returned to the waiting area. Although he was dirty, he had a bad temper and didn't look like someone who had just lost a few pets. He shouted at the staff, "Go buy me 2 king-level beasts right now. I have plenty of money." The service staff in the venue are just ordinary people. How dare you neglect these beast masters? He walked forward in a hurry. Winning a game can earn you hundreds of millions of dollars. This is a wealthy man, we must serve him well. Loda. Humph. I will be defeated by you in the end. The waiter wearing glasses spoke respectfully to Jack. Next game. 4790. Jack. 6320. Dragon Blood Warriors. All the competitions use codes. Few people use their real names. Jack. Look at me here. Jack. I love you. I bet 30 million on you. Kill that guy now? There's a gap of 2,000 people. There's absolutely no surprise there, right? You'll have to torture me for a while longer, little Jack. Jack. Are you free to spend time with your sister tonight? Everyone present was excited. Jack is. Enjoy this look. His eyes occasionally wandered between the noble ladies of the giant tree empire. Wondering which one I should go find tonight. The ladies were also delighted by the sight and kept screaming. You are Jack. Is it okay for me to kill you? The other party sneered twice. Sure. Jack hooked his finger expressionlessly. The Dragon Blood Warrior summoned his 2 mid-stage king pets, both of which were armored dragons of the same species. The Ankylosaurus roared and rushed towards Jack. As Jack waved his hand, 2 giants wearing armor and holding shields and long swords in their hands suddenly appeared. Swish. There was no suspense about the outcome of the game. The 2 pets were slaughtered by the giant holding a shield. And the beast master fell in the arena, and was hacked into the ground by the sword. Armor giants? And they are too late, kings. Lin Sheng touched his chin. I always feel that the Dragon Blood Warrior seems to be in a bad condition. It was just like the bloody battle between 10 people last night. Otherwise, we wouldn't have lost so badly. I'm going to have to face Jack sooner or later. Lin Sheng could still understand this principle. The reason why Jack was brought to this competition venue, which was far below his ranking, was to gain popularity. Otherwise, who would come all the way to watch you newbies fighting each other? What I want to see is the old guys slaughtering the new guys. Let the newcomers know the cruelty of the competition. And Lin Sheng was obviously among those who were slaughtered. I'm afraid Jack only spoke to me out of curiosity as to why I could hold back that night. Lin Sheng's lips curled up. Those women who are at least 10% or even 90% beautiful were probably sent by him. I'm afraid Jack wouldn't know. Loda. Compared with the beautiful women Lin Sheng had seen, those were just mediocre women. He has long been immune to this. I never thought that a veteran player ranked within 5,000 would be afraid of being overturned by us rookies. In order to win, any means can be used. And the competition might have already started as early as when Lin Sheng entered this world. Even a player ranked only 5,000th is so smart. We used all our strength to deal with these newcomers. What about the players who are ranked higher? Next one. The invincible Tyrannosaurus warrior. It's my turn. Lin Sheng walked out of the waiting room with no expression on his face. Invincible Tyrannosaurus warrior is the code name Lin Sheng gave himself. Anyway, every game can be renamed, so it doesn't matter. When Lin Sheng stepped onto the duel arena, Jack also looked over with interest. In the past, there have been many cases where we have failed to deal with newcomers. Jack has survived until now only because of his cautious character. When participating in a big competition, I am just a bottom-level person, but in this small competition, I am at the top. Although the number of spectators is far from that of a big game, it is enough to make a fortune. The most important thing is that there is no danger. Next, let us welcome our newcomer, the invincible Tyrannosaurus warrior. Against another mid-level king-ranked beast. The skeleton sword and shield man. As soon as Lin Sheng and the skeleton holding the shield arrived, everyone on the platform immediately quieted down. Obviously it was different from when Jack appeared just now. Lin Sheng instantly attracted everyone's attention. So handsome. I want him. Is this the new Beast Master? I really don't want to see him get beaten to death by the skeleton swordsman. It's a pity indeed. You can just come and serve tea to me. Everyone on the stage was talking about it. A new king-level warrior had to deal with the skeleton swordsman in the middle stage of the king level as soon as he arrived. The outcome is indeed hard to predict. But more people still place their bets on the skeleton sword and shield. Man. After all, a ferocious beast in the middle stage of the king level would require at least 3 beast masters in the middle stage of the king level to deal with. The skeleton swordsman and shield man kill here every day and have more combat experience. Here we go. Jack smiled. I hope this new guy won't let me down. The stronger you are, the more people's applause you will win when we kill you tomorrow. After years of slaughtering newcomers in this arena, Jack's character has long since changed in a way that is different from that of an ordinary person. And I heard that this newcomer was not found in the arena. But he is a guy who walked into a trap himself. So Jack had to be careful. Make sure Lin Sheng is not someone sent by others to play the pig and eat the tiger. Xiaoling. Lin Sheng waved his hand. A giant reptilian dragon as tall as a 4-story building appeared in the arena. Early King period. At that moment, everyone on the platform held their breath. The owner of the arena, who was in charge of hosting the game, also stared at, eyes wide open. What kind of breed is this? I have never seen a pet that looks like this. Its body is like a dragon, but it is covered with black hair in addition to scales. Moreover, the dark aura on the body has become so strong that it cannot be concealed. The early period of the king. The skeleton swordsman smiled. Jack also felt relieved. He is just a small beast master in the early stage of the king stage. The little guy really makes me a little nervous. Jack's lips curled up into a confident smile again. Die. The skeleton swordsman picked up his long sword and jumped up. Its body is so huge that it can block out the sky and the sun. The big knife suddenly chopped down towards Xiaoling. Whoosh! A pitch-black spear suddenly emerged from Xiaoling's body. The spear was extremely fast and rushed towards the skeleton swordsman with a whoosh. The skeleton swordsman hurriedly raised the bone shield in his hand to block the attack, and the bone knife had already chopped down towards Xiaoling's neck. The skeleton swordsman couldn't help but smile. The little guy is still inexperienced. However, before Skull Knife could say a word to his opponent, he felt something piercing his chest. Looking down, the spear had already pierced through the bone shield in its hand and rushed into its chest. How? The next moment, the parasitic spirit in the chest cavity turned into countless spikes and exploded directly. Boom! The skeleton swordsman's body exploded. Killed in action. So weak? Can you give me something more capable of fighting? Xiaoling spread his wings and began to roar. With the parasite around, the possibility of winning against it at the same level is 0. His combat power has reached the middle stage of the king, and with some powerful skills and parasitic spirits, he can at least reach the peak of the king. Am I seeing this right? What kind of skill is that? It actually penetrated the shield on the skeleton sword and shield. That bone shield can block attacks from beasts of the same or even higher levels. Also, this black beast is too arrogant, isn't it? It looks like a dragon. Does it really think you are a dragon? This new guy does have some ability, but he dares to shout like that just because he won a game. I think the Beast Master is pretty cool, and the little pet is pretty cute, ha ha ha. The surrounding view. The crowd was immediately aroused. This wave of Xiaoling can be said to have attracted enough hatred. After all, the audience comes to see these newcomers be scared and afraid. But he never expected to be shouted at and mocked in return. There are many old viewers and supporters who want some stronger players to teach it a lesson. Is Jack here? I can't stand it any longer. Jack, come and discipline the newbie. Listen to what everyone says. Jack in the arena waved his hand. He is just a king in the middle stage, there is no need for him to work so hard. Just kill him. But this talent is quite good. The king in the early stage can deal with the skeleton swordsman in the middle stage of the king. It might be a good idea to take him in as a follower or a slave. The game is over. The owner of the arena immediately came to Lin Sheng. No matter how you look at it, Lin Sheng is going to be the next big hit in the arena. Hello, my name is Cao Sun, and I'm the owner of this arena. Are you interested in signing a contract with our arena? I can offer you extremely high profits and conditions. Not interested? Lin Sheng refused directly in person. He came here just for the 7-whole ginseng. Cao Sun smiled. It doesn't matter. When you know the dangers and benefits here, you will naturally consider it. The next few days, Lin Sheng faced more than a dozen opponents in succession. The result was without exception, they were all killed instantly by Xiaoling. Lin Sheng was also given a title, the killer who left no intact body. The Devil of Death. The reason is simple. Any ferocious beast killed by Lin Sheng would eventually leave nothing but its corpse. Any human who managed to survive would be taken as a slave by Lin Sheng and would disappear from Lin Sheng's side within one night. This is true for both men and women. So when those opponents faced Lin Sheng, they were all extremely terrified. If they lose, they will surely face a situation more desperate than death. In Lin Sheng's room, the teenage girl was massaging Lin Sheng's shoulders with her trembling hands. Today is her first and last night with the death demon. Even if I die, I will keep my innocence. The girl bit her red lips. At this time, Lin Sheng suddenly said, "It's almost time. Tomorrow is the last game. Is it almost time?" Faced with death, the girl's heart suddenly tightened. But what was even more terrifying was that she didn't know how this master was going to deal with her. "You." Lin Sheng looked at the girl, and she was immediately frightened and her whole body went limp. All her previous desire to resist was taken away, and she could only stare blankly at the light golden pupils. Only then did she understand that in the face of power, any delusion was unrealistic. Tears began to well up in the girl's eyes. Memories of the past flashed through my mind like a kaleidoscope. "You, go back to the main world. Then go to Yangcheng in Dragon Country and tell me my name. Someone will recruit you there." Lin Sheng waved his hand. Kill people, he will kill. However, Lin Sheng will also keep those who have no intention of killing him and are just forced to participate in the competition. However, so far, facing more than a dozen opponents, there are only 1 or 2 people who really have no intention of killing. Regardless of gender, age, or status, everyone was sent to Yangcheng by Lin Sheng. Used to deal with possible attacks from ferocious beasts in the future. Why? The girl was a little stunned. "I asked you to return to Yangcheng and wait for orders. Aren't you my slave? Follow my orders." Lin Sheng didn't want to explain too much. Because it's really hard to explain. "It would be better to kill that, master." Xiaoling in the beast taming space spoke silently. "Killing it is far less useful than keeping it," the deer said calmly. "These slaves signed an indenture never to disobey orders. He is the most suitable soldier candidate. If you want to survive, building your own power is the first priority." The owner did an impeccable job in this regard. "I support the master." Xiaobai started licking again. Time passes quickly. The next morning. The popularity of the arena today is much higher than ever before, even breaking the highest record of this arena. This is all because of the appearance of a very popular newcomer, the Death Demon. It even attracted the attention of people in some large arenas. After all, this is just a king-level arena. There are countless arenas like this in the entire giant tree world. There are about a dozen disaster level ones, and every famous disaster level beast master is occupied by those arenas, attracting countless people from all over the world to watch. And the number of imperial level arenas is even smaller. Only 2. It depends on your open mood. It is a place where emperor level beast masters settle their grudges with each other. It is basically only open a few times a year. One of them belongs to the Giant Tree Empire, and the other belongs to the Global Beast Master Association in the main world. And now there are a lot of disaster level arenas, and wealthy spectators have come here. The owner was immediately flattered. But Jack was in a bad mood. It's all because this newcomer stole his limelight. The factory owner even told Jack not to be too ruthless during the competition. Doesn't this mean that I have to be replaced? It's just a new boy. Jack felt a little unhappy. However, after receiving the order from the owner, Jack did not dare to resist too much. Just a little lesson. The two of them got ready and soon stood on the field. The final prize of this competition will be the right to meet the Tree King of the Giant Tree Empire and make a request to the Tree King. And the contestants in the finals are the new contestant, Death Demon, and the veteran contestant, Jack. The two quickly stood on the field. Cheers immediately rang out all around. The betting result is also that Jack is higher. Jack couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, and said proudly, "Newcomers are newcomers after all." When Jack's eyes stayed on the field, he suddenly caught a glimpse of a figure, which made Jack's pupils dilate. Sitting on the high platform were two elegant girls with blonde hair and blue eyes. Both of them were wearing tight t-shirts and short skirts, revealing their fair skin, which looked very dazzling. The short skirts wrapped their round and full hips, echoing the front of their bodies. Behind them stood 5 fully armed bodyguards, all with the symbols of other beacon countries on their bodies, which made people afraid. "How is it? I told you this new guy is handsome, right? Do you want to play with him?" The girl looked at the girl next to her playfully. "That's right, but my father doesn't allow me to play around, and his pet is really..." The girl seemed to be hesitant to speak. "Of course, Lydia. It's absolutely true." The playful girl next to him was absolutely sure. "He is definitely the descendant of the legendary Black Dragon King." Hearing this, Lydia's pupils dilated slightly. Black Dragon King. They in the Lighthouse country know this very well. Even his father barely defeated the Black Dragon back then, but was unable to kill it. And at that time there were other Emperor-level beast masters to help. Jack was so shocked that he couldn't be more shocked. Lydia. One of Zeus' daughters. Jack's heart was pounding. That whiteness makes people's heart. The skin that you desire and the light blue eyes are definitely right. If I can make her like me and take me in. Thinking of this, Jack couldn't help but lick his lips excitedly. Then he looked directly at Lin Sheng in front of him. Rich ladies like these all have their own servants. "I'm sorry, I was planning to let you go, but now. Just become my Jack's stepping stone." Jack summoned 2 huge armor giants. Boom. The arena made a deafening noise. Everyone's attention was drawn to it. Both are in the late monarch stage. Lin Sheng touched his chin. In the previous battle, Xiao Ling's level had reached the middle stage of the king. The battle between life and death is very effective in training ferocious beasts. Xiao Ling obviously also likes this kind of violent atmosphere. It can greatly accelerate its growth. Relying on domain abilities, he may not be able to defeat 2 giants in the late king stage. After all, its father, the Black Dragon King, had the advantage when facing many emperor-level beast masters in the Lighthouse country alone. Or mother. Lin Sheng didn't know whether the Black Dragon King had a gender. "I don't know how it gave birth to the little spirit. Or will you just summon one pet?" Jack's eyes were cold. "How dare you look down on him? Court death. Now he ranks in the top 5,000. There are only over 9,000 newcomers. Oh. Our Death Demon contestant still plans to fight with only one pet. It seems like you are very confident in yourself." Listening to the host's harsh voice and the audience's whispers, Jack's eyes became even colder. The murderous intent in my heart gradually spread. It really is the Black Dragon King. They look so similar. Lydia exclaimed and covered her delicate little mouth with her hands. The girl next to her was also very excited, and she was so excited that she didn't know what to do. "Die." Jack gave the order. Feeling their master's murderous intent, the 2 armor giants were filled with boundless rage. He raised the sword in his hand and rushed forward. "Mao. Who? Brother Bai. Master, you're not really going to let me fight alone, are you?" Xiao Ling asked quickly. "You should exercise more and can't always rely on Xiao Bai. Don't worry, I will save you if you are about to be beaten to death." Lin Sheng patted Xiao Ling's wings. Xiao Bai in the beast taming space also nodded. Shows that he has healing skills. Xiao Ling sounded aggrieved, wanting to cry but unable to cry. "Just go ahead. I have to bear the hatred that I have brought upon myself." 2 armor giants, each as huge as a 10-story building. One of them held a spear in his hand and wore a plate helmet, and the other held a huge sword in his hand and wore a long-tailed helmet on his head, revealing only a pair of fierce eyes. Every time the 2 giants took a step, the ground shook. Regardless of his strength, at least he has great momentum. One of the reasons why Jack is so popular is because of his 2 pets. After all, People in some countries like night giants wearing armor the most. Royal Giant. Level, Late King. Talent, Late King. Skills, Stabbing, Slashing, Alloy Armor. Evolutionary route, none. Introduction, Giant Kingdom, giants guarding the royal family. The levels and names of the two pets are not much different. Jack bought them all from others at a high price. That's why Jack was so angry when Lin Shen mentioned before that only the weak would give up their pets. Obviously it hit a sore spot. And Jack also wanted Lin Shen to have a taste of what it was like to contract a pet beast again. But now, I guess there's no chance. Royal Giant, don't hold back. Jack's face was cold. The two royal giants also let out earth-shaking roars. For a moment, the excitement of everyone on the stage was ignited. Especially the royal family of the Behemoth Empire and some countries where knights appeared in history. The arena owner became nervous. Didn't I tell you to hold back and just perform for a bit? Cao Sun was a little flustered and kept winking at Jack. However, Jack, who would always look over here from time to time during the game, didn't even look at him at this moment. This guy? Are you planning to kill me? That's my cash cow? All the Kasun people were dumbfounded. In his opinion, as long as Jack shows his strength, there will be no opponent at all. If Jack were to kill Lin Shen, he would be in great danger. It looks like my brother is in danger. Damn it, please don't scratch his face. The girl next to Lydia pinched her waist and was very angry. Lydia sighed, feeling a little helpless. This friend of mine has some special hobbies. He bought a lot of slaves before, but in the end they were all covered in wounds and dying. Julie, this person is very important to me, please don't mess around. Lydia said helplessly. That death demon can actually contract with Nyak's offspring. If I could give it to my father, he would definitely like it. Hey, Sister Lydia, are you interested too? It's your first time. Julie smiled secretly with her hands covering her mouth. Then I'll be even more excited. Stop talking, just wait until he can get out alive. Lydia said silently. If I could get out alive, I would be qualified to be her servant. Looking at the two girls, the guards behind them were speechless. Either of them is stunningly beautiful, and together they make an even more extraordinary pair. But they were not so friendly to the male slaves. I wish the guy below good luck. Usually, if you are favored by two ladies, you will end up in a bad situation. Whoosh. The royal giant held a machete, which fell down with a whistling sound. Roar. Xiao Ling roared like a dragon, and the parasitic spirit on his body turned into a giant black hand and directly grasped a huge machete. However, this alone is not enough to stop that huge force. Damn it! The realm of death. Xiao Ling dodged the big knife and directly activated the field skill. All of a sudden, a dark aura spread around and instantly covered the entire arena. Field. Jack's face changed. This damn guy actually owns a domain. Once a pet possesses domain skills, its strength will increase exponentially. Not only does the domain possess some special abilities, it can also greatly enhance the pet's own strength and weaken the opponent's strength. Like his royal giant, one costs about 1 billion. The two together cost 2 billion, which would be cheaper if they were just leased. But once the royal giant owns the territory, the price will skyrocket from 1 billion to 10 billion. Moreover, there is no demand for it at a high price, and it is impossible for anyone to sell it. For a moment, greed arose in Jack's heart. Kill the man and leave the pet to me. It is very common to snatch each other's pets in the arena. Julie on the stage also covered her mouth. This guy actually possesses domain abilities. Could he really be the descendant of the Black Dragon King? She was just joking before. I feel that there is only a 50% chance. But once it has territory, this possibility increases greatly. The king level can possess domain abilities, so the talent of this pet is at least above the late stage of disaster. The two royal giants rushed forward instantly after receiving the order. Raise the weapon in your hand and chop madly. After activating the domain skill, Xiao Ling's movement speed is abnormally fast. It can even flap its wings to fly for a short time, and these attacks cannot hit it at all. At the same time, Xiao Ling seized the opportunity and specifically attacked one of the royal giants, continuously spewing out extremely corrosive green mist. As time passed, one of the royal giants finally fell down, and the armor on his body was completely corroded, even revealing his bones and flesh. How is this possible? This is a royal giant in the late king stage. Jack was shocked and doubtful. Could it be that I was cheated? But he bought it from a very reputable slave trading company. It is absolutely impossible to be deceived. Dear audience, a beast of the early stage of the monarch can defeat a beast of the late stage of the monarch, and he is facing two beasts of the late stage of the monarch at the same time. We have to say, this is simply a miracle. Let's give our applause to this newcomer, the Death Devil. Seeing that the time had come, Cao Sun immediately began to vigorously promote Lin Sheng. As for Jack, just throw it away. As long as there is money, what kind of beast master in the late king stage can't be created? Damn it! Listening to the crazy shouts around him, Jack's eyes were about to burst out. This new guy! How dare you steal my thunder? Jack understood that he had been abandoned by Cao Sun. In the eyes of these field owners, only those who can create profits are of use. But what made Jack most desperate was, he could clearly feel that his pet's life and his own life were slipping away. This field has the ability to deprive people of their vitality. As the battle progresses, the speed of the two pets will only get slower and slower. And just at this moment, one of the royal giants finally seized the opportunity. The big knife in his hand suddenly slashed towards Xiaoling in mid-air. Jack's face suddenly showed a look of joy. However, a thick spear suddenly stabbed out and instantly pierced through the chest of the royal giant. What? Jack opened his mouth wide, not daring to break his promise. Everyone on the stage fell silent, and slowly lowered their raised hands. The arena owner held the microphone in disbelief. Julie and Lydia, on the contrary, were quite excited. A royal giant who was about to succeed was pierced through the chest by another royal giant with a spear. But Jack had already lost control of the royal giant holding the spear. How is that possible? My pet will attack me? Jack couldn't believe it. Everything before my eyes simply breaks common sense. It is reasonable for the pets of beast masters to never attack each other. However, at this moment, one of his pets attacked another pet, interrupting his attack. The pet beast was emitting green mist, and the wounds all over its body were emitting a foul smell of death. Wake up the corpse. The spirit can revive the creatures it has killed. Although the combat power is not as good as before, it is definitely not much weaker. Currently, you can only awaken one pet of the same level as your own. 3 pets that are one level weaker than you, and cannot be awakened at the same time as those of the same level. Even so, this skill is extremely perverted. After waking up the giant, the two giants instantly fought each other, and with Xiaoling's attack, the outcome was quickly decided. The armors of Jack's 2 giants were shattered and they fell down, no longer having any breath of life. For a moment, Jack felt hopeless. After hearing the news of his pet's death, his face turned even paler. A lot of the hair has turned white. It was obvious that he was going to die soon, a human being standing in the field for too long. The life force in his body has been almost completely taken away by Xiaoling. It will die of natural causes in a few days. Haha, you want to kill me? You'd better go and wait for death. Xiaoling sneered twice and had no intention of killing Jack. But let them live in fear of death. Draw the negative energy from his body. Slowly experience the pain of falling from the peak to the bottom. To be on the safe side and to prevent any future trouble, Xiaoling extracted a few strands of life breath from its body. It could clearly feel Jack's endless murderous intent towards his master. If Lin Sheng wasn't still here, Xiaoling would have tortured him to death. But in order to maintain his image in the eyes of his master, he had no choice but to do so. Xiaoling Fi. Return to Lin Sheng's side. Well done. Lin Sheng touched Xiaoling's forehead and knocked on the dragon horn twice. Xiaoling suddenly had an idea. Fortunately, those 2 night giants in the late king stage were not raised by Jack since childhood. Not only is there a lack of coordination between them, but the soul contract is probably not solid either. It is understandable that he would fail when encountering the little spirit who has his own territory. After all, Xiaoling has synthesis skills. Any one of them is at the top of the king level. Even among 10,000 king level pets, not all of them may possess one of these skills. At worst, Lin Sheng can also summon Xiaobai. By then, the battle will become a scene of crushing defeat. He is just a night giant in the late king stage, and I am afraid he would find it difficult to withstand even one attack from Xiaobai. The people on the platform had already been frightened. What kind of creature is that? The dark aura on this person is too strong. Could it be a weird one? It must be a weird one. No wonder it was given the nickname Death Devil. Where is the Death Demon's signature method? Why doesn't he use it yet? Use it now, I came here just to see your move. The audience on the stage blushed with excitement. Even those who had supported Jack before turned against him. These audiences don't care who lives or dies. As long as they can win, they will support them. This is a yearning for the strong that is engraved in our bones. Lin Shen naturally heard the voice from the podium. However, the more they pay attention, the harder it is to discover their abilities. This is the reason why it is said that it is darkest under the lamp. Obtain the Royal Giant Bloodline Gene. Obtain the Royal Giant Chopping Skill Gene. As Lin Shen uses his talent skills, the corpses of the two royal giants gradually dissipated and finally turned into a piece of yellow earth. Dead Demon. Dead Demon. Death Demon. Under the manipulation of the arena owner, everyone on the platform shouted Lin Sheng's nickname. The entire arena was immediately filled with the name of the Death Demon. Lin Sheng's ranking was also exchanged with the other party. 4,730. Your ranking is high enough to participate in higher level competitions. Xiaobai and Xiaoling are both unable to obtain the genes and skills of the royal giant. It is better to save them for later use. Maybe they can be used by future pets. Lin Sheng walks. As soon as he got off the arena, two people came to serve him. There were even many noble ladies and aristocrats who came to the edge of the arena and stretched out their hands to shake hands with Lin Sheng. This kind of extravagant and glamorous environment where one is sought after by thousands of people can easily affect a person's character. No wonder the people who came to participate in the competition were so bloody. It's also a good place to hone people. But it's a pity that the level of these people is too low. Lin Sheng sighed. If Jack heard this, he would probably vomit blood. But what Lin Sheng said was indeed the truth. In order to force its way into space, the nine-headed sunbird sealed 6 of its 9 heads. The strength of the remaining 3 heads was also suppressed to a catastrophic level. But he is still an emperor. After fighting with 6 disaster level and late disaster wolf kings, he was seriously injured by Lin Ming, who forcibly raised his strength to the peak of disaster. However, Xiaobai's skills can still injure it. This is already very perverted. To be honest, even Lin Sheng didn't expect that he could kill the emperor. Thinking about it afterwards, it is indeed a bit scary. Unfortunately, Lin Sheng was so angry at the time that he didn't care about so much. The peak king can injure the peak disaster. The more you think about it, the more outrageous it becomes. According to common sense, this is impossible. But who made him have the cheat? Mr. Lin. Lin Sheng had just left the arena. The owner of the arena came over immediately. Mr. Lin, you have won the final grand prize of this competition. This time, our arena won a total of 13 billion. We will give you 2 billion of it. And you are qualified to go to the center of the giant tree empire to meet the tree king. 2 billion. No wonder people here are so eager to compete. Just winning a competition once is enough to enjoy for a lifetime. But Mr. Lin, are you interested in signing a contract with our arena? As long as you become our contracted fighter, you will be eligible to receive 50% of the profits from future competitions. Cao Sun opened his mouth to seduce. Originally, the profits made in the arena would not be told to others, but in order to lure Lin Sheng, it was leaked intentionally. Need not. Lin Sheng refused directly. A 50-50 split seems very tempting. But if you keep competing here, it will only waste your time and talent. It would be better to go to a higher level arena. Well, there is a group of guests who are your fans and want to meet you. Although Lin Sheng rejected Cao Sun's request, he was not angry. There is a reason why I have been able to be the boss in the arena for so long. Not see. Lin Sheng spoke silently. But, those two said that they can help you get the 7 aperture ginseng smoothly. You leaked my information to them. Lin Sheng glanced at him. Cao Sun was suddenly shocked. Although he is the master of this arena, he does not dare to provoke a beast master of this level. So he hurriedly said, "No, no. You also know my identity. I dare not tell you." Cao Sun couldn't help feeling ashamed. The power of the person who came was far beyond his ability to offend. With just a few words, his small arena could disappear from the giant tree world forever. Then let's meet. Lin Sheng was unfamiliar with the place. Although he is qualified to see the king of trees, he does not know how to ask for the 7-whole ginseng. A few minutes later, Lin Sheng came to the arena, to the most luxurious room No. 1. Boom boom boom. As he knocked on the door, an elegant female voice came from inside. "Come in. Lighthouse country people?" Lin Sheng paused, then pushed the door open and entered. There were 2 blonde girls sitting on both sides of the round table in front of him, wearing extremely low-cut white tops and loose coats, which covered their flawless sexy bodies. Only 4 dazzling white legs were exposed. The thickness was even, 1 more would be too much, and 1 less would be too little. Both of them looked Lin Sheng up and down. Behind the 2 of them stood 5 servants of the lighthouse country. "That's right. Be my servant and do your best to conquer me." Julie spoke with a smile, obviously used to being noble. He even took out the dog leash and collar from his body unconsciously. "Don't scare me, death demon. I should call you Lin Sheng. Are you interested in coming to my arena?" Lydia looked up and down at Lin Sheng. It's a bit surprising that this kid isn't stage frightened. After all, they are also from the lighthouse country in the main world. When people from the secret world see them, they will naturally bow their heads. I would even be honored to be your servant. Just for the right to leave here. Julie was becoming more and more interested. I didn't expect he was so tough. I hope your bones are still so strong when you get to my room. You two both know about the 7 aperture ginseng, what? Lin Sheng spoke calmly. This moment, the 2 of them were stunned. You are from Dragon Country? Are you from the secret space, or from the main world? Julie quickly put away the dog pen and asked nervously. If it was someone from the main world, she would be so embarrassed. Those who can come here from the main world are the top people in any country. And the Dragon Kingdom is one of the top 3 powerful countries in the main world. What do you mean? He doesn't even know how to meet the Tree King. Lydia said silently. Lin Sheng had obviously just arrived in the giant tree world. Hurry up and tell me, I'm in a hurry and need to go back quickly. Lin Sheng was getting a little impatient. You. Julie's face suddenly turned red with embarrassment. This guy must have seen the dog collar she took out just now. But so what? This world of giant trees is their territory. To go to the center of the giant tree world, you must have the token of the giant tree city. Lydia said silently. Lin Sheng had never heard of this matter. Oh. I have the token of giant tree city and can take you there, but there is a condition. Lydia observed Lin Sheng's expression. Forget about sending a slave. I already have one. Besides, the slave next to you is too stupid. Lin Sheng frowned slightly and looked at Julie with some disgust. Julie was stunned for a moment, then she got angry. Whose slave are you talking about? Do you know who I am? Julie obviously hasn't suffered much. He walked forward angrily, took out the collar and was about to put it around Lin Sheng's neck. It turns out that your brain is not working well. Lin Sheng was speechless. He grabbed the other person's hand, snatched the collar from his hand, and then quickly put it around Julie's white neck. With a push of her feet, Julie's snow-white knees knelt directly on the fragrant wooden floor. You, let me go. Julie looked up at Lin Sheng and her face suddenly turned red with embarrassment. However, when he met Lin Sheng's light golden pupils, he was suddenly frightened and fell silent. Lydia, who was watching from the side, couldn't help but chuckle. Haha, it seems that you have trained it very well. I will give this slave to you. Julie has been too overbearing, it's time for her to suffer some consequences. Lydia, you're kidding me too. Julie sat on the ground and touched. My knees are red and I feel like crying but I can't. However, Lin Sheng didn't care about her at all. You want to put a collar on someone the moment you come up? Naturally, Lin Sheng has no good feelings towards this kind of person. Forget it. I'm afraid my IQ will be affected. You should just take care of your own dog. With two chuckles, Lin Sheng handed the necklace to Lydia. Looking at the two people singing the same tune, Julie suddenly felt that she had been fooled. The servants standing by were also extremely nervous and dared not say a word. I didn't expect that the host who came this time was so powerful. I can actually chat and laugh with these two. In the past, even people from the main world would have been lured away by Julie. 10 minutes later, the three of them got into a taxi from Giant Tree City. It was a giant beast like a rhinoceros, and the three of them were sitting on its broad back. Your father is Zeus? Haha, yes, you're not afraid at all? Lydia said with a smile. What's there to be afraid of? He's not here now. Well, I'm really getting more and more satisfied with you. Are you interested in joining my arena? Lydia stared at Lin Sheng in front of her with her beautiful eyes. In the past, when those people heard that her father was Zeus, they would be scared to death. Unexpectedly, the young man who came this time was very calm. Hadn't he heard that Zeus was very strict with his daughter? Giggle. Sitting aside and watching the two people talking and laughing, Julie felt inexplicably jealous. When I thought of Lin Sheng's light golden pupils and appearance looking down at me, I felt itchy in my heart. Unconsciously, he moved towards Lin Sheng. When he was about to get close, he was blocked outside by an invisible force. If you come any closer, I'll throw you off. Lin Sheng spoke coldly. Who came over? Julie rolled her eyes and sat back down. However, Lin Sheng's cold attitude made Julie's heart beat faster. Could it be that she had mistaken her own fetish? Haha, we'll soon be at the center of Giant Tree City. Looking at the two of them, Lydia smiled gently, feeling a little unhappy. She hated being interrupted the most. Lin Sheng didn't pay too much attention to the two of them. Although they were both good-looking, they were still a little behind Lin Ming, especially in temperament. His attention was attracted by the towering tree in the center of Behemoth City. In the center of the Giant Tree City in the Giant Tree World, there is a towering tree. Lin Sheng had been sitting on the rhinoceros's back for almost half an hour, but the giant tree had not yet arrived. You should know that even at its normal speed, this rhino can reach 70 kilometers per hour. It can reach 300 kilometers per hour at full speed. It's enough to imagine how big that giant tree is. This is the tree king of the Giant Tree World, the master of the secret realm of this space. Even a beast master in the late emperor stage can enter it without any obstacles, so he is suspected to be an existence beyond the emperor level. But the Tree King has no offensive power. Instead, it grants people rewards from time to time. So the people of the Giant Tree Empire have taken root here since ancient times, and their strength has grown at a speed that can keep up with the main world. But don't underestimate the natives of the empire. The strength of their top leaders is enough to rival that of some countries. Listening to Lydia's explanation, Lin Shen nodded silently. It seems that those who are treated as slaves are just the lower class people. Even the top emperors cannot resolve this situation. There was no point for Lin Shen to think too much. I also want to get the 7 aperture ginseng quickly. Only when Xiaobai's strength reaches the catastrophic level can he be said to have a foothold on Blue Star. And you also need to prepare the promotion materials needed by the Emperor in advance. After all, even the promotion materials for the disaster level are so difficult to obtain. Is there any need to think about the Emperor level? That is definitely unimaginable difficulty. Maybe Xiaobai has reached the late stage of the disaster and hasn't even collected all the materials. Soon, the vehicle arrived at the center of Giant Tree City. The central town of Giant Tree City is completely separated from the outside world by a wide moat. As Lydia presented the token, the city gate slowly fell. Let's go. Entered the Giant Tree City. The entire Giant Tree City was shrouded by the branches of the tall trees. What surprised Lin Sheng the most was that in addition to humans, there were actually quite a few demons and ferocious beasts in the city. Moreover, the levels of these demons and ferocious beasts are, at the lowest level, above the king level. After all, only ferocious beasts that have reached the king level have the wisdom and learning ability equivalent to that of ordinary humans. In this regard, humans, who focus on intelligence, can be said to have gained a considerable advantage. Many people even recognized Lydia along the way. There are a few more. A man cast a jealous look at Lin Sheng. Haha, little brother, you better be careful. If Lydia's father finds out about this, you'll be finished. You can beg me to take you in now. Julie put her hands on her waist and showed her little canine teeth. However, what greeted her was only a slap in the face. Soon, Lin Sheng arrived at the trunk of the giant tree. You can clearly feel the excitement of the deer in the beast taming space. This is a branch of the Chaos God tree. What? You wouldn't understand even if I told you. The fawn was still very excited. But after hearing this, Lin Sheng almost knew what was going on. Whenever this kid doesn't know something, he will say that you won't understand even if I tell you. I'm afraid the deer only knows the name of this tree. If you want to know more, your strength must also be improved. Real payment for knowledge. Lin Sheng came to the trunk of the so-called Chaos God tree. Looking at this tall tree trunk, it is easy to feel powerless. Touch it and pray to the Tree King in your heart, and he will give you a reward. A man in religious clothing nearby spoke silently. There are only 10 people who come here every day to pray to the Chaos God tree. Of course, this is just a low-level prayer. In some parts of the Chaos God tree, you can beg for higher level items. Lin Sheng slowly placed his hand on the Chaos God tree. Branches of the Chaos God tree. Grade : Talent. Skill : Evolution root. Introduction: the weapon that all the strong people desire, but never thought it would be left on a poor planet. Arms. Such a big tree can actually be used as a weapon? Lin Sheng was slightly surprised. It is totally unimaginable to see someone smashing this huge tree at people. And the most important thing is that it is actually a branch. I need 7 aperture ginseng. Lin Sheng muttered to himself. And at that moment, he only felt that some of the energy in his body was drained away. Then a 7-hole ginseng with 7 holes on its body appeared in his hand. However, at the moment when Lin Sheng's energy was drained, he subconsciously used the sequence extraction skill, trying to draw that energy back. But it actually started successfully. Extract trace amounts of life essence genes from the Chaos God tree. Extract trace amounts of life affinity genes from the Chaos God tree. Extracting trace amounts of the healing technique of the Tree of Chaos. Energy gene. Extract the Chaos God tree's natural control skill gene. It can actually be extracted. Lin Shengren was dumbfounded. And at that moment, one could clearly feel that the Chaos Divine Tree was showing some signs of struggle. But he couldn't do anything to Lin Sheng and could only let him extract his essence. Even the energy that had been drawn away before was taken back by Lin Sheng. I guess Luan Zhenmu will never think of this in this lifetime. If you advocate equal exchange today, you will be bitten by a dog. Instead of making any profit from the other party, he got slapped with a big mouthful. Master, this 7 aperture ginseng is not worth that much energy essence. You will lose a lot if you exchange it with it. In rich places, 7 whole ginseng is just a white radish thrown on the roadside. It is only a little more precious here. The deer felt sorry for Lin Sheng. Just use a piece of carrot to exchange for so much life energy of others. This chaotic god tree has a good plan. Lin Sheng responded twice silently. Try not to seem too excited. If these believers knew that they had sucked 2 mouthfuls of blood from the Chaos God tree, they would probably be beaten to death here. Go away. The farther you run, the better. Lin Sheng turned and left. Brother, since you don't want to join our arena, you can come and play occasionally. Lydia smiled and invited Lin Sheng again. Certainly. Lin Sheng responded silently. I have the same plan. Now Xiaobai's strength has increased too quickly, his foundation is unstable, and his combat experience is insufficient. And this place is a good place for polishing and training. Lin Sheng decided to stay here for a month to hone Xiaobai's strength to the peak of the king level, and then make a breakthrough. By the way, it can also help the other 2 pets obtain skill genes and bloodline genes. Doesn't the little deer want to be the legendary Kylin? Loda. Then Lin Sheng will satisfy it. But the reward is that you can be your mount for life. Okay. Why don't you stay at my house first? My house is very big. When the competition starts, I'll give all the money to you. Julie seemed very excited. And when everyone was laughing, the distraught Jack also came to the giant tree city. But the previous hatred and fighting spirit were no longer in his heart. Only the psychological shadow and fear left by the black dragon continue to provide food for the black dragon. Jack, why are you like this? 2 strong men from the lighthouse country came forward to inquire. It is normal to have several brothers in this giant tree world. And the man with the scar on his face in front of Jack is one of the top 1,000 players in Giant Tree City. People call him the Knife Twister. Jack quickly told the 2 of them his story. The knife ghost's expression changed again and again. Brother, you must make the decision for me. Jack felt like crying but had no tears. The reason why he can get to where he is today is because he has Daogui backing him up. If you walk by the river often, you will get your feet wet. Since you are unlucky, just accept it. Daogui shook his head. He can kill 2 late-stage kings by relying on an early-stage king. And it also has domain capabilities. Daogui has seen many players like this before. And after growing up, they all became the top 1,000 strong ones in the giant tree arena. It is definitely not an existence that can be easily provoked. There was no need for him to provoke the other party for Jack. Hearing this, Jack felt hopeless. Benefit. The giant tree world really only needs people who can create benefits. Friends, relatives, and siblings, everything is so vulnerable in the face of interests. At this time, the staff of the Behemoth Arena also came to Lin Sheng's door. At this time, Lin Sheng was temporarily living in Julie's house, and Lydia was also staying there. Of course not living together. With Julie's family's influence in the main world, it would be easy to get a few villas here. Is it Mr. Lin Sheng? Two staff members from the Behemoth Arena came up. It's me. Lin Sheng nodded. The attitudes of the two immediately became respectful. It's like this, Mr. Lin Sheng, you are ranked 4730th in our Behemoth Arena. So I'll give you this month's reward as usual. This is 300 million activity funds, 300 energy crystals, and some daily necessities. As they spoke, the two of them retreated to the side. There was a carriage parked in front of Lin Sheng's villa. Lin Sheng followed the two and opened the curtain of the carriage. There were all kinds of high-end items piled up inside, and a woman. This is the eldest princess of the Duke of Coates family. Of course, absolutely new. You are really lucky. This is the latest batch. The rest of the servants have already been distributed. The two of them laughed dryly and waited beside Lin Sheng. The princess of the Duke of Coates family looked at Lin Sheng with horror. Lin Sheng's gaze. He scanned its body. He has an extraordinary appearance, even with pointed ears, and looks a bit like a descendant of the giant tree empire. Most importantly, his skin is very fair, and he wears the local exotic clothes of the empire, which is very attractive. I don't need it, change it to something else. Lin Sheng spoke silently. No matter how long he stayed here, Lin Sheng was not used to these things. But it is indeed helpless. Moreover, if the people in their main world were enslaved, they would probably end up like this. Whenever he thought of this, Lin Sheng felt a little heartbroken. Strength is indeed the most important thing. If you can't reach the level of an emperor, you will always be controlled by others. Even used as a trading tool. The reason why he is respected in the giant tree empire today is definitely not because of his own strong strength. It's just because behind Lin Sheng there is a country that is enough to make people fear. And in that country, there is an absolute power that is terrifying. This. The two looked at each other. This beauty made them unable to help but be moved, and with her noble status, anyone who saw her would have wild thoughts. How could Mr. Lin, a young man, refuse? Is it possible that there is a problem with some functions? Tell me what the top rankings can get. Lin Sheng looked at the two people in front of him. Just being in the top 5,000 can get 300 million in funding every month, plus so many luxury goods. No wonder such a strong man from such a country is willing to station in the giant tree secret space. The owner here really spent a lot of money. Are you new here? The two looked shocked. You can get a ranking in the top 5,000 of the giant tree empire as soon as you arrive. It's unheard of. The two of them instantly paid more attention to Lin Sheng. He quickly introduced to Lin Sheng the monthly rewards he could get. 300 million yuan in funds and various daily necessities every month in front of the arena, with a total value of over 500 million yuan. Of course, the prices of these daily necessities are calculated according to market prices. If we only consider the cost, it would definitely not reach as high as 500 million. Before the arena, there will be 500 million monthly activity funds and higher level daily necessities, with a total value of 1 billion. 1 billion monthly activity funds in front of the arena, a complete set of noble mansions, and 1,000 servants to choose from. 2 billion monthly activity funds before the arena, the qualification to live in the royal family, and the option to marry into the royal family. 1 first level wish per month. Top 100 in the arena. 10 billion activity funds per month. Can marry a direct descendant of the royal family. Make a second level wish to the Tree King every month. Top 50 in the arena, 15 billion activity funds per month. You can make a level 3 wish to the Tree King every month. Top 10 in the arena, 30 billion in activity funds per month. You can demote the entire Ponzi family to slavery. You can make a second level wish to the Tree King every month. No. 1 in the arena. 50 billion activity funds per month. You can make a level 4 wish to the Tree King every month. The highest wish of the Tree King is level 5. Only the most core members of the royal family have the opportunity to pray once a year. This is the rule set by the Tree King. The two of them introduced themselves to Lin Sheng in a very experienced manner. Lin Sheng was frightened after hearing this. The prayer he had made before was only a first-level prayer. Even so, you can get the precious medicinal material 7 whole ginseng. And those with higher rankings can actually receive wishes every month. Even the top 10 in the arena can treat the entire noble family as their slaves. Even though it's Ponzi scheme, it still has a trace of royal blood. The ruler of the giant tree empire is indeed a ruthless man. No wonder he has been able to occupy the secret space until now amidst the confrontation between multiple countries. I'm so envious. I also want to be the master of those high and mighty nobles. The two were very envious. But it's normal when you think about it. Being able to enter the top 10 in the arena is also a top-notch existence among the emperors in the main world. What can't they get their hands on? Even money has no effect on them anymore. What really concerns them is the ability to make a 4th-level prayer to the Tree King. Only the first 1,000 people can make the lowest level of prayers. Lin Sheng had a vague goal in mind. As long as he can make the lowest level of prayer, he can continue to extract genes from the Tree King. If this continues for a long time, it may even cut off the foundation of the entire giant tree empire. If you don't want this item, you can replace it with something else. There was some heat in the eyes of the two men as they looked at the noble girl. The girl suddenly panicked. Please take me in. I can serve tea, pour water, and do everything. The girl's face was pitiful and her voice was trembling. However, the two people who came from the arena were smiling slyly. Serve tea, pour water? Haha. You don't even have to do this easy job yourself. The two of them laughed as if they had heard some huge joke. She is indeed the eldest daughter of a noble family. It really makes people want to love her. What are you doing? Lydia heard the sound outside the door, opened the door and walked out. Seeing this familiar figure, they were stunned. Then he lowered his body and said, "Ms. Lydia. We are the people in charge of distributing ranking rewards in the Giant Tree Empire. Today we are distributing ranking rewards specifically for Mr. Lin. If we disturb you, I hope you won't blame me." Looking at the two of them, Lin Sheng was slightly surprised. It seems that Lydia has a high status in the Giant Tree Empire. Oh. She's a good kid. Your room is so messy, why don't you let her stay and help you clean it up? Loda. The corners of Lydia's crystal clear mouth curled up, and her beautiful eyes looked at Lin Sheng, as if she could see through him. Yes. The two men lowered their bodies again. After leaving the things in the vehicle, he drove away. With the help of the servants, the items were quickly moved into the villa. The cleaning work in the villa and his 3 meals a day are left to you. Lydia spoke silently. The princess of the Duke of Kit's family quickly half knelt down and performed standard aristocratic etiquette to Lin Sheng. "Thank you, master." Then he did it again in Lydia's direction. "Thank you, madam." He. Lydia couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. Suddenly, spring flowers bloom in full bloom. "I'll go back first. You can have fun by yourself." Without waiting for Lin Sheng to speak again, Lydia and the servants left Lin Sheng's villa. This. Lin Sheng looked at the petite Duke princess who was staring at him eagerly, feeling helpless. "Don't come into my room casually. You can do whatever you want with the rest." "Understood, master." Looking at Lin Sheng's embarrassed look, the Duke and Princess of the Kurt family were secretly delighted. Fortunately I managed to get away with it. This master looks stupid, as long as he can get rid of his slavery. There are only two ways to escape slavery. One is to be married by your master and give birth to children. The second is that the master pays a fee to the giant tree empire to terminate the slave contract. After all, she is essentially still a slave of the giant tree empire, and her master cannot terminate her slave contract without permission. Being able to be a duke or princess of an aristocratic family, her mind cannot be too simple. And now Lin Sheng's goal is to be in the top 1000 in the arena. During the training, collect the advanced materials for Xiaoling and Xiaolu. Return to the room. It will be no less difficult for Xiaoling to advance to the disaster level than for Xiaobai. Lin Sheng was slightly surprised. Some materials can be bought with money. For example, the blacklist root and 9 nether grass, although they are expensive, Lin Sheng now has more than 2.3 billion in his pocket. And there are also a large number of life stones and dragon beard grass. 3 blacklist roots, plus 7 9 nether grasses, the total value reaches 11 billion. Lin Sheng couldn't help but gasp. The value of a life stone is 300 million, and the value of a dragon beard grass is 10,000. Now Lin Sheng owns 25 life stones, which can be sold for about 7 billion. If you count the dragon beard grass carefully, there are hundreds of them, which can be sold for about 3 billion yuan. The two added together amount to as much as 10 billion. This is just enough to gather the materials Xiaoling needs. Damn it, this is not the way to spend a lot of money. Lin Sheng immediately picked up the phone and called the main star. Teacher Chen Dao. You called me teacher again, is there something wrong again? Chen Dao on the other end of the phone said helplessly. It's this kind of teacher. Lin Sheng counted the materials he needed. More than 10 billion. Are you kidding me? A disaster level advanced material costs so much money? And this is only a part of it? There are some that can't even be bought. Chen Dao's extremely excited voice came from the other end of the phone. No wonder he was excited. It really scared him. How about this? It will take us some time to raise the funds. We will prepare the upgrade materials for your 2 pets in a month. Thank you very much, Teacher Chen Dao. No, these are the privileges you deserve as the chief student. Chen Dao couldn't help but feel ashamed. Lin Shengzhen made an indelible contribution to the principal's cancellation of this policy. I thought it was outrageous enough that he spent 10,000 yuan on the school's food expenses every month. Now it seems that compared with the advanced materials needed for his pet, it is nothing. After hanging up the phone, Lin Sheng couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I have the support of the Magic City Academy. Many problems can be easily solved. Otherwise, even if he collected these things, he would be seriously injured. Now there are only materials left from the first level of prayer. I will have to pray twice to collect all of Xiaoling's materials. The level of materials Xiaoling needs is higher than that of Xiaobai. The main reason is that the materials of strange creatures are too rare. Very difficult to collect. In the following time, Lin Sheng went to Lydia's arena every day to train his pet. Although it is a disaster level arena, most of the matches that take place are at the king level. Only occasionally does a catastrophic match take place. During this period, Lin Sheng fell into danger several times. But he still did not summon Xiaobai, and insisted on honing Xiaoling's combat awareness. The opponent's level is too low, so Xiaobai was summoned just for backup and cannot serve a training purpose. Finally, a month passed quickly. Lin Sheng's current ranking has reached 4,230th. Gradually, he gained his own reputation and fans in the arena. After all, Lin Sheng was able to reach this level with just a king-level pet, which naturally caused a lot of cheers. And the brutal means are daunting. Xiaoling actually enjoyed the fighting process. Especially the feeling of tearing your opponent's flesh and blood. Let it tremble from the depths of the soul. But that was only during the battle. When he was with Lin Sheng, he was still a hard-working and obedient boy. Just, don't ask for too much. All the materials have been collected. Xiaobai's evolution materials will be sent to me from the main world soon. 2 months is enough time for Lin Sheng to make 2 first-level prayers. The main credit was that he knew Lydia. Generally, wishes are only frequently rewarded in high-level arenas. And Lydia's arena happens to be a high-level arena. Some contestants tried their best to get in and have the chance to pray, but they were all rejected by Lydia. Not everyone can participate in the competition. Little dear, you must be ready. The energy this time is extraordinary. Lin Sheng explained it seriously to Xiaolu. In total, he extracted trace amounts of genes from the Tree King 3 times. Okay, come on. I'll take it all. Xiaolu had previously seen Lian Sheng inject genetic energy into Xiaoling and Xiaobai. Naturally, I was very envious. I wonder when my master will be able to inject it into me. Isn't it coming? Lin Sheng reached out and pressed the deer's forehead. The fur on it was very soft and felt very warm. Come on, stop touching my head. The little deer shook his head, feeling itchy. This owner seems to like patting the head very much. Get ready, I'm coming. As Lin Sheng silently chanted in his heart, a stream of energy flowed from the palm of his hand into the body of the deer. That moment, the huge amount of energy instantly swept through the deer's entire body. The little deer just frowned slightly, and a faint fluorescent light emanated from his body. There was no painful struggle like the other 2 pets before. Standing there very dignified and elegant. All 4 legs were trembling slightly, also due to excitement. This energy. Absolutely right. It's the energy of the Chaos God Tree. Obtain a small amount of life essence genes from the Chaos God Tree. Obtain a small amount of life affinity genes from the Chaos God Tree. Obtain the Chaos God Tree's trace healing skill gene. Obtain the Chaos God Tree's natural control skill gene. A powerful force surged into the body. The deer's level soared rapidly. The originally shorter hair on the body continued to grow and became much longer than before. And the breath of life on his body is also more intense. The little deer couldn't help but jump twice on the ground excitedly. Yes. I've become much stronger. Just a moment. The little deer then completely absorbed all the energy that was pouring in. The level directly reached the late Lord stage. Just one breakthrough away. Lin Sheng did not prepare the materials needed for Xiaolu's advancement in advance. Because after the genetic change, the deer's advancement route will also change, and the required materials will naturally change accordingly. Colorful deer. Level, late Lord. Talent. Skills, concealment, life growth, Kaiun domain, life affinity, plant healing, nature control. Evolution route, Guanglin deer, Shenmue deer. Introduction, the creatures left in this space possess extremely profound knowledge. Shenmue deer, what is this thing? Lin Sheng muttered in a low voice. A new race emerged on the evolutionary line. Hearing the name, the deer's ears suddenly stood up. Shenmue Lu, can you see my evolution path? The little deer was shocked. According to common sense, its race would not have the same evolutionary path as the Shenmue deer. Because there is no connection between its race and the Shenmue deer. Its appearance means that this is a new evolutionary route that goes beyond one's own racial bloodline. Lin Sheng noticed the deer's shock and asked, what's wrong? Is this evolutionary path very strong? Without. Have. Although it is the latest evolutionary route, it is only slightly stronger than the evolutionary route of my own race, the Guanglin deer. What shocked the deer was not the extra evolutionary path. That's just icing on the cake. What really helps in times of need is that Lin Sheng has the ability to evolve living things. It can actually improve the bloodline of some creatures out of thin air. It originally thought that Lin Sheng could only give his pet skills at most, but could not improve its bloodline. No wonder the master's other two pets have such high bloodlines. Originally it thought that its owner was luckier. After all, I can encounter it, how can I be unlucky? Can you continue to help me improve my bloodline? Xiaolu asked hurriedly. Loda. Of course I can. As long as I can go to the Tree King and pray, I can extract the genes from it. The same goes for any other creature. Hearing Lin Sheng's words, Xiaolu was extremely excited. If that's the case, it would be fine to help myself evolve into one of the branches of the Kylin race. That is the legendary Kylin, a creature with the highest level of bloodline. According to the vague memory in the deer's mind, even the weakest branch of the Kylin race can easily flatten the entire blue planet when it is just born. Etc. Master just said that this gene was extracted from the Chaos God tree. After the deer's level was raised, some information about the Chaos God tree had already flooded into his mind. The branch of the Chaos God tree fell from the branch of a world tree. I didn't expect it to take root and grow here. This thing, wherever it is placed, will lead to the extinction of a certain race. But it is the favorite thing of those strong people. The little deer knew the importance of this sacred tree. But I don't know why it's important. Master, we must obtain the branch of the Chaos God tree. I have a feeling that this will be one of the most crucial items. Xiaolu stood straight and dignified, and spoke to Lin Sheng like a noble princess. Okay, but how do I get it? Lin Sheng was very puzzled. The entire giant tree empire has countless emperor-level powerhouses and has connections with countries all over the world. Even the emperor level can't use the 5th level prayer of the Chaos God tree. What's more, what about getting the entire branch of the Chaos God tree directly? If this is said, going there would be equivalent to declaring war on the entire giant tree empire. Who is so bold? I'm afraid that even any country in the main world would not do such a stupid thing, let alone him alone. I have an idea. Xiaolu said. What method? Lin Sheng listened attentively. That means you become an emperor-level powerhouse. Or directly become a powerhouse that surpasses the emperor level. The little deer raised his chest and spoke with great dignity. Fuck, aren't you talking nonsense? Lin Sheng rolled his eyes. I thought the little deer had some profound insights. That's for sure. But you can get this branch of the Chaos God tree by becoming an emperor, which is already a huge profit. It's really a great luck. Don't worry, with the blood from the dragon's eye that you injected into Xiaobai, as long as Xiaobai reaches the middle or even late emperor stage, he will immediately become the strongest being on the entire blue star. And it is overwhelmingly powerful. After all, these native creatures on Blue Planet have merely been affected and mutated. What kind of rotten fish and shrimp are these? Even if there are a few outstanding individuals, all of them rely on the divine objects in the ruins to forcibly improve their bloodlines. As long as Lin Sheng can become the strongest person on Blue Star, at that time, we can step into the gate of the Behemoth Empire openly and force them to hand over the branches of the Chaos God tree. Only the strong are qualified to possess it. It's easy to say. Lin Sheng sighed. He can now probably be considered a disaster-level beast master. But how difficult is it to grow to the emperor level and grab the branch of the chaotic sacred tree? After all, apart from him, aren't the strong men from other countries coveting the chaos divine tree? The answer is definitely yes. But they did not try to rob. Anyone with a discerning eye can see the problem. The giant tree empire possesses extraordinary power. Master, there is someone outside the door looking for you. The princess of the Duke of Kote opened the door and walked in. Now that she has become Lin Sheng's full-time maid, she naturally wears maid's clothes. I see. Lin Sheng showed some joy on his face. It seems that the main world sent the materials to me. Thinking of this, he walked towards the door. However, just as he reached the door, An accident happened. In front of the door, the princess of the Duke of Court suddenly fell. The whole person fell towards Lin Sheng unconsciously. Lin Sheng was quick to embrace the girl's soft body in his arms. The maid blushed and looked up at Lin Sheng's face. "Be careful next time," Lin Sheng said expressionlessly as he slowly pushed it away. He. Kurt Christian covered his mouth and laughed. A pair of beautiful eyes stared straight at the tall and straight back of their master. "Don't rush. Take your time. She is so satisfied with her master. Every time I seduce him, I can't help but want to eat him up. But, I have to hold back when he is completely defeated and takes the initiative." These past few days, Christine had always been looking towards him vaguely. And he is always panting and groaning. "Even though the face has improved, I still feel that this guy's body seems a little too soft." "It's quite soft though." Lin Sheng recalled the feeling of the hug just now. Then he was stunned and abruptly drove the thought out of his mind. After all, she was a princess of the Duke's family. It's understandable that she's weak and sickly. Just use her more. Lin Sheng shook his head. "Put aside those unrealistic fantasies. But they don't know that they are being influenced subtly. Not to mention Lin Sheng, this slow offensive and long-term residence could easily be considered as falling in love. What's more, every night, Christine deliberately made the sound of bathing water and humming. In addition, she is a noble princess whose family has been destroyed and has outstanding looks. With it so readily available, few people can resist. Lin Sheng is an exception. I haven't touched anything for a month." "Mr. Lin, this is your advanced material." A truck from Dragon Country drove into the villa compound. Several staff members unloaded the goods from the truck into the open space in the courtyard. After saying hello to Lin Sheng, they left together. "Unpack those. First, store Xiao Ling's advanced materials in the beast taming space." Then he placed Xiaobai's advanced materials in one place, and then used fire to smelt them into 7 parts of medicinal bath. Change it every day for 7 days. During this month, Lin Sheng time is injected into Xiaobai with trace amounts of dragon blood. The huge amount of energy in the body has long been accumulated to the point where there is nowhere to vent. When Xiaobai heard about evolving, he immediately became excited and cooperated very well with Lin Sheng's actions. "It's your turn next." Lin Sheng looked at the little deer who had been watching the fun on the side. "Well, let's transform into a Shenmue deer first, and then evolve into a Kylin afterwards." The little deer was full of confidence. The image of Kylin is the closest to its perfect evolutionary direction. Soon, both Xiaobai and Xiaolu entered the process of evolution. My. Xiao Ling was a little unhappy. Why can the other two evolve but he can't? Wait a minute. I have already collected all your materials for you, but your level is not up to standard yet. Lin Sheng stroked Xiao Ling's dragon horn and comforted her. Xiao Ling shook his head violently. "Fight? I want to fight." Xiao Ling is full of fighting spirit. Looking at her master and the 3 pets in the courtyard, Christine covered her mouth in surprise. Naturally, she had heard rumors about her master. But I didn't expect that I actually had 3 pets. 2 dragons and a deer? And it seems that the crawling creature is not the owner's most powerful pet. Even now those 2 pets are going to evolve again, they will only become stronger. Christine's heart was pounding. Not to mention her now. Even if their Duke family were to be resurrected, they would still have to bow down before a strong man of this level. Master. He is very handsome and has a nice personality. Christine put a finger on her pink lips and stared at Lin Sheng through the window, losing her mind for a moment. My master was afraid that I was weak, so he bought me more expensive food and let me live in the same room as him. Christine didn't believe that Lin Sheng didn't know how to use slaves. But in this situation, Could it be that the master is planning to make me his harem? Christine couldn't help but feel her heart beating faster. She had been very calm, but now her face turned red. No. I must find an opportunity to test it. This is not only about whether she can escape from her status as a slave. It also concerns whether she can avenge their Kurt family. Before, she only saw Lin Sheng.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you in the next one.